Hey there, it's Santi again. In this video, we're going to talk about RetroPGF. We will start by defining RetroPGF, we will review its main characteristics, and then we'll go deeper into the process so you can really understand how things are working and how things are coming into the optimistic vision. Now, simply put, the RetroPGF is the mechanism that Optimism uses to fund public goods retroactively. Actually, RetroPGF, as you already know, is retroactive public good funding. So that's quite intuitive. But there are three things that you need to know about RetroPGF. First of all, everything is a big experiment. There's no super detailed process written in stone. There are many iterations, many things to learn, and a very experimental approach to learning. So the idea is to try different things, to test how everything goes, and eventually come up with the best solution with a really battle-tested mechanisms for the RetroPGF to compare to. Now, this experiment is working in rounds, in cycles. Why do we need cycles? Because every cycle, every round has a different scope, has different characteristics, has a different process, and most importantly, because doing it in cycles help us improve from the learnings of the previous round. Now, how are these rounds, how are these cycles defined? Well, with the help of the Optimistic Foundation and the badge holders. Who are the badge holders? They are part of Optimism governance. We will go into super detail in another chapter, but for the time being, all you need to know is that the badge holders are people selected by different criteria to be the ones who decide how to allocate the funding for RetroPGF. So it's like a chamber called the Citizen House, currently has around 70 members, and these members decide which projects should receive funding. Now, how does the process work? First of all, the Optimism Foundation defines a scope for the round. So for example, in round number 2, the scope was development and usage of the OP stack. By the way, we'll see the OP stack on another video. This is defined by the Optimism Foundation, which also defines the different categories to which projects may apply. Before, it was tooling, infrastructure, and education. Now, based on that, people can start nominating projects, and then these projects can submit their profiles. Eventually, we have a list of profiles upon which badge holders can vote. So let's say badge holder goes, see all the projects, reads what they are doing, the impact they had, the funding they received, and decides, okay, I think this project should receive funding, this shouldn't, this should, this shouldn't, this should, this should, this should, this shouldn't, this shouldn't, this should, this should, this should, this should, this should, should. Eventually, we have all the votes from the badge holders, we can aggregate them, and we can distribute the funding in a weighted average according to how many votes they received. Now, this is what we got in the previous 2 rounds. You might still be wondering, sounds super cool, but where is the money coming from? And that is, of course, exactly what we'll see on the next video. Stay optimistic.